Hey everyone. Today we're diving into something that's kind of like the hidden grammar behind all data, the 4 levels of measurement. This is the secret that explains why some numbers are useful for math and others, well, they just aren't. Let's get right into it.
So let's kick things off with a little puzzle. Have you ever wondered why you can easily find the average temperature for a week, but trying to average a list of social security numbers is completely meaningless? I mean, they're both numbers, right? So what gives? This one question actually gets to the very heart of why understanding data levels is so important.
And this is a perfect way to look at it. Over on the left, a social security number isn't really a number in a mathematical sense. It's just a unique label. It's a name that happens to use digits. But on the right, company revenue is a real, meaningful quantity. You can't add 2 people's ID numbers together and get a new person, but you can definitely add 2 revenue streams. Figuring out this difference is really the first big step. All right, so let's start at the very bottom, the foundation of our data ladder. This first level is all about the world of categories, basically just sorting things into simple, clear buckets. This is what we call the nominal scale, and the key word here is nominal, which basically just means name. All we're doing at this level is naming things. There's no order, no ranking, nothing like that. It's just about putting things into distinct groups. Think of it like you're sorting laundry into different piles, whites, darks, colors. And you see this everywhere in business, right? When you're segmenting customers into retail or wholesale, or you're tracking expenses by department like HR or marketing, that's all nominal data. You might assign a number, maybe a 1 for credit card and a 2 for PayPal, but those numbers are just shortcuts for the names. You can't average them to get, what, some new payment method? Of course not.
So just having categories is a great start. But what if we need to know which category is, better or higher than another one? Well, that takes us up to the next level, putting things in order.
And this brings us to the ordinal scale. Now we finally have an order, a meaningful ranking. Think about something like first, second, and third place. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. While we know the order, we have absolutely no idea how far apart those ranks are. The gap between first and second could be a split second, while the gap between second and third could be minutes. And here are 2 perfect examples you deal with all the time. On the left, you've got a classic satisfaction survey. We all know that satisfied is better than neutral, but how much better? Can you measure that? Not really. It's the exact same story with the loyalty program on the right. Platinum is above gold and gold is above silver. The order is crystal clear, but the jump in benefits between tiers isn't necessarily the same.
So, to put it really simply, you can say gold is better than silver for sure, but you absolutely cannot assume that the value difference between bronze and silver is the same as the difference between silver and gold. And that limitation? That's exactly what our next level is here to solve.
Okay, so our next big challenge is to actually measure those gaps. We need a scale where the distance between each and every step is consistent, equal, and meaningful.
Welcome to the interval scale. Now this is a huge leap forward, because now the space between each value is equal and defined. The difference between a 10 and a 20 is the exact same as the difference between an 80 and a 90. This means we can finally do some real math, like addition and subtraction. But it has one really quirky limitation. There's no such thing as a true zero. Temperature is the absolute classic example here. The jump from 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit is the same 10-degree jump as from 80 to 90 degrees. It's a perfectly consistent interval. But think about it. What does 0 degrees Fahrenheit actually mean? It doesn't mean there's a complete absence of heat, right? It's just another point on the scale. And because there's no true zero, you can't say that 80 degrees is twice as hot as 40 degrees. That kind of ratio math is still off the table, for now.
So far we've got categories, we have order, and we have equal intervals. There's just one final, absolutely crucial piece missing to unlock the full power of what our numbers can do.
And here we are at the top of the ladder, the ratio scale. This scale has everything the interval scale has, order and equal intervals, plus it has the superpower of a true zero. In this scale, a 0 means a complete and total absence of whatever it is you're measuring. It means nothing.
This is the absolute game changer, the number 0. When we're talking about revenue, $0 means literally no money came in. If we're talking about inventory, 0 units means the shelf is completely empty. This meaningful 0 is what finally makes those powerful ratio comparisons possible.
Just look at the sales chart. See how the scale starts at a true 0? That means we can finally make these incredibly powerful statements using multiplication and division. We can definitively say that product A, with 250 units sold twice as many as product C, which sold 125. All the math you can think of is finally on the table. This is, without a doubt, the most powerful level of data.
Okay, so we've climbed the 4 rungs of the data ladder: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. But let's be real. Why did we even go on this journey? Why does any of this actually matter to you?
This table right here, this is your ultimate takeaway. It is the perfect cheat sheet. It lays out the entire framework we just talked about. As you go down the rows from nominal to ratio, you can see how each level builds on the last one. We start with no order, then we add order. We have no equal intervals, then we get them. No true zero, and then finally, a true zero. Each step down this table unlocks more and more powerful ways to analyze your data.
So what's the bottom line here? Look, understanding your data's level isn't just some boring academic exercise. It's incredibly practical. It literally dictates the kind of math you can do, the charts you can make, and ultimately the real insights you can find. If you use the wrong methods for your data's level, you end up with conclusions that aren't just a little off, they're completely nonsensical. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Think about the data you interact with every single day, in your job, in your life. Is it website clicks, customer satisfaction scores, employee ID numbers? Now that you know the 4 levels, which scale do they fall on? And what does that tell you about what you can and can't do with them? Thanks for watching.